I'm Liz Schrum for the Wisconsin Technology Council, here with WISBusiness.com, the show. Just ahead, Tom Still talks about the upcoming Wisconsin Entrepreneurs Conference. And Tricia Braun, a new vice president at the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, talks about her role in WEDC's community development arm. And now, here's the WISBusiness.com stock report for late May. Rising portable data centers. Wisconsin-based Johnson Controls has teamed with Cisco Systems, the Silicon Valley computing giant, to build a line of portable data centers. The prefabricated centers, roughly the size of small semi-trailers, will help businesses move their data and analytical tools to the internet cloud in a more cost-effective way. While the portable data centers are a new product, the relationship isn't. Cisco and Johnson Controls have been working together on other projects for 6 years. And falling, Milwaukee's zombie homes. City officials estimate about 400 properties in Wisconsin's largest city are in foreclosure, abandoned, and in a state of legal flux. The result is homes that suck the life out of surrounding property values because they're in disrepair and sometimes magnets for crime. City officials in Milwaukee say they are stepping up efforts to find responsible parties, such as lending institutions, to take over these walking dead properties. And now, here's Tom Still with his Inside Wisconsin commentary.
A new report from the Brookings Institution suggests business startup rates in the United States are at their lowest levels in 30 years. That's a trend that worries economists because young businesses are historically a leading source of new jobs. In fact, say economists at Brookings and the Kauffman Foundation, the downward trend for startups is the same across all states, nearly all metropolitan areas, and every sector of the U.S. economy. What's wrong? Possible culprits are shifts in bank lending habits, more regulation in certain industries, uncertain immigration policies, and the lingering effects of the Great Recession. Still, others wonder if there's a cultural shift taking place. Are Americans today less likely to take risks than past generations? If so, those aren't the people showing up for the 12th Annual Wisconsin Entrepreneurs Conference next week in Madison. The two-day conference is geared towards showcasing entrepreneurs and their young companies. It will provide hands-on examples of how to succeed and how to bounce back from adversity. The conference will feature the top 13 contestants in the annual Governor's Business Plan Contest, who will compete live on Tuesday, June 3rd. The annual Seize the Day Award will go to two Wisconsin entrepreneurs, Craig and Leah Culver, who redefined fast food with a business that began in Sauk City. A mix of panel discussions will help entrepreneurs better understand the launch, grow, and succeed phases of business formation with detailed information from people who have been there, done that. It's a self-selected crowd, of course. People with no intention of ever starting a business or working for a startup are unlikely to show up. But the rising interest in the conference over the years, as well as trends in campus entrepreneurism, provide at least some anecdotal evidence that all is not grim in Wisconsin when it comes to business startups. States such as Wisconsin can swim against the tide of sluggish business formation by making sure government incentives are right and barriers to entry are not made higher by unnecessary hurdles. A relatively modest investment in incentives for startups can pay higher dividends over time. The national numbers aren't good right now, but Wisconsin can buck the trend with the right ideas and attitudes. Drop by next week's Wisconsin Entrepreneurs Conference and learn how some people don't fear risk, they embrace it.
Thanks, Tom. I'll be right back with Tricia Braun, Vice President of Economic and Community Development for the WEDC.
White Hirschbeck Dudek represents companies at all stages of development and in a wide range of industries to navigate the legal challenges of regional, national, and global growth. At WHD, every stage takes center stage.
We're back with Tricia Braun, who was recently named Vice President of Economic and Community Development for the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. Welcome, Tricia.
Hi, Liz. It's good to be here. Thank you.
Describe your role at WEDC, which is the state's leading economic development group. What are the top 3 duties or goals for your position?
As the Vice President for Economic and Community Development, I'm in charge of leading the team that we consider the state's sales force, so Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation sales force. Our regional account managers work closely with our economic development partners throughout the state on business needs and helping to grow businesses within the respective regions that they represent. Our community account managers work closely with communities and municipalities throughout the state to build programs and services into their own local economic development efforts that help to strengthen their businesses. My goal for the next year is truly to help support that team, to help provide them with the resources and the tools that they and our partners can use in their economic development programs. Secondly, we have built several tools throughout the last couple of years that are intended for our partners to utilize in their own, whether it's business attraction efforts, their own business development efforts, and then also sharing resources.
You bring a combination of in-state and outside Wisconsin experience to the job. What did you learn in Riverside, California, and the Twin Cities region that can apply to Wisconsin?
I think this has two aspects to it. One is the geographic location of the different areas in which I've worked. Having come from the Midwest and specifically a smaller town, that gives me the experience and the understanding of the dynamics that really take place in that small town or more rural economic development. Having been in Riverside, California, during the time in which I was there, we truly were one of the handful of cities that could be characterized as the epicenter of the Great Recession. In that aspect, we had to look from within and build on our assets to kind of, build a whole new economy for that area, and really brought to light the value of quality of life and also the other businesses and the partnerships that can be key in creating a successful economic development plan.
How will you define success a year from now?
In a year from now, what I hope is to be seen as a valuable partner in economic development throughout the state, and also as a contender for major economic development deals.
Thanks, Tricia, and thank you for watching this edition of WISBusiness.com, the show. The show is produced by WISBusiness.com and the Wisconsin Technology Council, and sponsored by White Hirschbeck Dudek, MG&E, and UW-Milwaukee. Visit our websites to read and learn more. I'm Liz Schrum of Talent Put Executive Search. See you next time.